Let's talk about tiny Trumps. The tiny Trumps are thousands of down-ballot elected officials silently carrying out their leader's extremist far-right agenda. We're talking sheriffs, clerks of court, town council members, school board members, county commissioners, you name it. While many Americans think the president runs the country, that's only partly true. In reality, the United States of America operates like a company. The president is a lot like a CEO, chosen by a board of directors, i.e. voters, to lead the company for 4 years at a time. As our country's CEO, the president sets national priorities and directs resources to achieve those goals. But while companies are guided by CEOs, their success hinges on the cooperation of loyal employees at every level. Similarly, a president's power doesn't mean much without the help of local politicians and lower-level bureaucrats who really make it all happen. These are the tiny Trumps, elected officials in counties, cities, and towns all across America who implement and enforce Trump's extremist right-wing policies that hurt innocent people. Your town's got 'em, and by golly, so does mine. Let's meet one. This is Ed Priola. In 2024, Ed Priola ran for the Alamance County Board of Commissioners. His campaign was built on two simple promises. First, he promised to cut property taxes. Second, he promised to do everything he could to protect families in our community. Then he got elected, and things changed. In January of 2025, the Alamance County Board of Commissioners, including Ed Priola, voted on a simple request, whether to let a local organization apply for a $250,000 grant. BT Dubs, the Alamance County Board of Commissioners, consists of 5 commissioners elected on an at-large basis, and as of the time of this recording, they are all Republicans. The organization seeking the grant is the Family Justice Center of Alamance County, or FJC, which helps victims of domestic violence and elder abuse by providing resources in one location. The FJC helps victims connect with advocates, get help filing restraining orders, speak with law enforcement, and access shelters. Essentially, they make it easier for victims to get help. And here's the kicker. This $250,000 grant wouldn't cost the county commissioners a single penny of taxpayer money. The FJC simply needed the county commissioner's approval to apply for the funding. Think about it. A local organization dedicated to helping victims of domestic violence asks for your permission to apply for money that will save lives in your community without costing your voters anything. Politics is often messy, but this was one of those rare moments where the right thing was crystal clear. And then it came time to vote. Before the vote, one of the commissioners stepped aside because she serves on a board that evaluates grants, and she wanted to avoid any perception of a conflict of interest. What happened next was weapons-grade insanity. Ed Priola led the remaining commissioners in unanimously rejecting the grant application. Now, why would they do this? During the meeting, Priola claimed to have several concerns about the grant application. Specifically, he objected to the application's use of terms like Latinx and equity, and he even went as far as suggesting the grant was discriminatory against white people because it aimed to support an underserved population, specifically Hispanic victims in our community. Now, like many areas across the country, Alamance County, North Carolina has a growing Hispanic community that is severely underserved in terms of public health and safety. This grant could have made a significant impact in addressing that issue. But let's remember, Ed Priola is just a tiny Trump, and like his daddy, he's more interested in hunting headlines than helping humans. If you want to hear Priola's words yourself, you can watch the hearing. Just click the link below in our description. To be fair to Mr. Priola, while working on this video, I reached out to real-life grant writers to ask if there was anything at all unusual or questionable about the language in the FJC's application. Every single one of the folks I talked to said the application was clean as a whistle and followed all the usual conventions and best practices of grant writing. So just to recap, the same folks who will spend millions of taxpayer dollars to expand a courthouse to try abusers won't support a no-cost grant to help victims. Makes perfect sense to me. Here is something else you should know. Mr. Priola himself is an alleged abuser. Police reports from the 1990s claim Priola physically assaulted his then wife, leaving her with bruised ribs and a broken nose on at least 3 occasions. This is why local politics matter. Tiny Trumps like Ed Priola are carrying out an extremist far-right agenda in our communities, and the consequences are the lives of our friends and neighbors. Domestic homicide rates are rising across North Carolina. In 2024 alone, there were 83 reported domestic violence homicides across the state. And these are just the reported cases. Advocates believe the real number is much higher, as an estimated 50% of crimes go unreported. A study by the CDC found that over 30% of all men and women in North Carolina experience physical violence, sexual violence, or stalking by a partner at some point in their lives. Behind every statistic is a hurting human and a shattered family. Look, y'all, I know as well as anybody how easy it is to get swept up in the noise of national politics, but the truth is, the decisions that affect our everyday lives often happen at the local level. While Donald Trump is sucking up all the oxygen at the national level, tiny Trumps like Ed Priola are quietly shaping our communities, and if we don't pay attention, they'll continue to make choices that harm the people who need help the most. Engaging with local politics isn't just important, it's essential. It's essential to ensuring that the people in power never forget that they are working for us, and that we, the voters, their neighbors, are always watching. Thanks for watching The Hometown Holler. Quinn and I are just two guys with day jobs, and these videos take a lot of time and effort. We're talking research, writing, recording, editing. Our patrons make all of this possible. And if you find our work valuable, we'd love for you to become a friend of The Holler at www.patreon.com/The Hometown Holler. Together, we can build a better North Carolina, one conversation at a time.